All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, Haitians, and Brazilians, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right? That is the real truth. Okay. So now what I want to get into this lesson is, because, America being the Roman Empire all over again, or America is the Roman Empire. All right. America is the Roman Empire. America is the last leg of the Roman Empire. All right. Because not only do people get reincarnated, but empires get reincarnated. All right. Like the scriptures say, there is no new thing under the sun. All right. And it's also prophecy that the Roman Empire will come back. All right. The Roman Empire, all right, was wounded, but then it was healed. It was healed because it came back as America. Starting with the starting with the Renaissance era when Esau, Edom came back into power, man. All right. America's that deadly wound that was healed, man. All right. So, I want to get into, to show you that America is the Roman Empire. This is why you have the same way Rome fell is the same way, the same reasons why Rome fell is the same reasons why America's going to fall, because America is Rome, man. All right. That's why you got Latin on the money, on the dollar bills, and on the coins. You see Latin, man. Latin phrase and Latin words, man. Because that was the language of the Roman Empire. All right? Latin. All right? What's the national animal here in America? The eagle. That was the same national animal. All right? That was in ancient Rome. What animal do you see on the coin? The quarters. All right? The eagle. You also see it on the back of the dollar bill. All right? What was the animal that was on the Roman coin? The eagle. Okay? America is Rome all over again. The same way Rome ruled is the same way America ruled, man. So matter of fact, let me pause this video real quick. Hold on. All right, my bad. I had to pause the video real quick, but let me get let's get back into it. Let's get First Maccabees chapter 8. All right. Which talks about the Roman Empire and how they ruled, man, because the same way the Roman Empire ruled is the same way America rules, man. All right, so let's start off with verse 8. Verse 11. This is First Maccabees, all right, the 8th verse. This is First Maccabees, the 8th chapter, starting at the 11th verse. When you read this chapter, it's talking about the Roman Empire. All right, so it says, it was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms and isles that at any time resisted them. Yeah, that was talking about the Roman Empire coming into power. All right, because when the Roman Empire came into power, they conquered many empires and many provinces, man. You read about that in Daniel the 7th chapter. All right, around the 3rd verse. All right. It was told him besides how they destroyed the Roman Empire, the Romans, all right, and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms. Yeah, the Roman Empire coming into power, all right, and isles that at any time resisted them. All right, it says, but with their friends and such as relied upon them, they kept amity. All right, and that they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh, insomuch as all that heard of their name were afraid of them. Yeah. All right. It says also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign, and whom again they displaced, finally, that they were greatly exalted, the Romans, all right? It says, yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby, all right? Verse 15, moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, talking about the Roman Empire. So they had the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire had a senate house, just like how America does. They have the Senate, man. All right. Moreover, how they had made for them a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily. All right, just like you got the congressmen. All right, consulting a way for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered. All right, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, just like America. You don't have a new president, all right, every year, but every 4 to 8 years. All right, you have a one man that, you know, so-called rules over all the country, because the president doesn't really rule the country. All right, his strings get pulled by the elite bankers. All right, but just like how you have in the ancient Roman Empire one man to rule the country, you have it just like here today, man, in America, man. America is Rome. There's no new thing under the sun. America is the Roman Empire, all right, coming back. It is the Roman Empire, all right, the last leg of it, because it was prophecy that the Roman Empire was to come back. It was going to fall and come back, man. All right, the deadly wound that was healed when you read Revelation, man. All right, Daniel the 7th chapter, and then when you read Revelation the 13th chapter. All right, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that they were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them. All right, so just to get that point, all right, they had a senate house, they had a ruler, one man that ruled over the country, congressmen, you know. Moreover, they had made themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting a way for the people, to the end they might be well ordered. You see, the same way ancient Rome ruled is the same way America rules, man. How they do things, man. You know, and what I want to get into is, you know, I typed in AI. All right, what was the reason for the collapse of the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire? And they gave me all the reasons, and you see all that happening in America right now, and that's the same way and the same reason why America's gonna fall, man. All right, so let's get into it. I got two AIs here. You know, I typed in the same question in two different AIs. I got Chat GPT here, right? And I typed in what were the reason, all right? What were the reasons, all right, for the collapse of the ancient Roman Empire? All right, and it says the collapse of the ancient Roman Empire, specifically the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD, was caused by a complex mix of eternal weaknesses and external pressures, just like how America is falling, man. All right, because America, all right, says eternal weaknesses, all right, because America's being ripped from the inside out. And then you got external pressure. What's that external pressure? Those nuclear missiles from the other nations, man. Okay, it says what caused by a complex mix of eternal weaknesses and external pressures that built up over centuries. Historians debate the exact causes, but here are the main contributing factors. All right, it says eternal causes. All right, political instability, yeah, political corruption, man. All right, political corruption. It says frequent changes in leadership, and you see that, man. Frequent changes in presidents, man. 4 to 8 years, you got different presidents that rule, man. All right, frequent changes in leadership, civil wars, and that's exactly what you already see civil war on a very, very, very low level. Wait till shit really pops off, man. All right, this is prophecy. Civil war is prophecy, and you starting to see it happening, man. All right, America is more divided than it has ever been. All right, that's you got the Democrats and the Republicans, the left and the right, the liberals and the conservatives. All right, and that's one of the signs of an empire falling, civil wars. All right, what did Yahushua say? If Satan be against Satan, how then can his kingdom stand? All right, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand, and that's America, man. The same way Rome fell is the same way America's gonna fall, bro, because America is Rome. All right, the Roman Empire coming back. All right, there's no new thing under the sun. Matter of fact, let's get that. All right, let's get that. All right, what's that? Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes 1 and around the 9th verse. Yeah, all right, so this is Ecclesiastes 1. All right, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, it says, the thing that has been is that which shall be, you see? All right, because everything comes back. All right, the thing that has been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun, all right? That goes for people and empires. Are we not under the sun? There's no new thing under the sun. Our spirits have been here already before, man. All right, reincarnation is biblical. Reincarnation is all throughout the Bible, man. All right, verse 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It has been already of old time, which was before us. Yeah, all right. There is no remembrance of former things. Yeah, we don't remember anything in our past lives. All right, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. All right, so that's dealing with people. All right, and nations, man. You know, all right. There's no new thing under the sun. That's why history repeats itself, because it's the same spirits coming back throughout the generations, man. All right. So it says right here, political instability, all right? Frequent changes in leadership, civil wars. You had civil wars in ancient Rome. And right now you got civil wars. Civil wars is getting ready to pop off on a very high, great, and grand scale. Okay? All right? It says, and power struggles weaken the government. All right? It says from 235 to 284 AD, the crisis of the 3rd century, it said Rome had over 20 emperors. Many overthrown and assassinated. All right, how many presidents did we have assassinated? Matter of fact, let's Google that real quick. All right. Let's get that real quick. All right, 4. All right, 4 sitting U.S. presidents have been killed. Abraham Lincoln. All right, James A. Garfield. William McKinley, all right, and John F. Kennedy, all right. Ronald Reagan, all right, is the only sitting president to have been wounded in an assassination attempt, all right. So, well, so-called, and you also got in this time you got Donald Trump, you know if that was real or not, whatever, all right. But you have 4 presidents that have been assassinated, just like in ancient Rome. All right, you had emperors that were assassinated. All right, Rome had 20 emperors, many overthrown or assassinated. Come on, bro. So come on, bro. The Roman Empire coming back, man. All right. Now, the second reason, economic decline. Is that not happening in America? That happened in ancient Rome, and it's happening the same way. The same way Rome fell is the same way America's gonna fall, bro. Come on, because America is Rome. All right? Look at the Capitol building. All right? The Capitol building was modeled after the Capitoline Hill in Rome. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get that too as well. Let's get that Rome Capitoline Hill. Let's grab that real quick. Yeah. All right. Images. Look at that. All right. Is that not how the structure of America looks? With the columns. All right. That's the architecture of America. All right. Look. That's how the architecture looks around. The White House in the Capitol building. In DC. all over America, man. Look, this is Capitoline Hill, all right, in ancient Rome, all right. Come on, man, and that's why you got the Capitol building, all right. Come on, man. Let me see real quick. Mm-hmm. Capitoline Hill it's called. All right, and then you got the Capitol building, and then you got the White House, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. You know? Let's then you got the come on, man. All right, is this not ancient Rome? Come on, bruh. All right, ancient Rome. Let's go back. Ancient Rome. Capitoline building. I think I spelled it. All right, you see? Come on, man. Like, oh man. All right, but it says economic decline. All right, that's why you have inflation. All right, because the dollar is depreciating. All right. Why does the dollar depreciate? All right, because money money keeps being printed out of thin air. All right, because when you have less of something, that makes it more valuable. Right, but since money just keeps being printed out of thin air, all right, it's not that it's not that valuable. So the dollar depreciates, and now you have inflation. Wait till hyperinflation happens. All right, when you paying $300, $400 for a loaf of bread, man. That's what's getting ready to pop off here in America. All right, very great and serious times are about to pop off, man. We're living in serious times. All right, economic decline, heavy taxation. All right, heavy taxation to fund the military and bureaucracy. All right, it says inflation. See, inflation, man, inflation. All right, so that was one of the reasons why Rome fell, and that's as you see here in America. That's all these are signs of America's fall, bro. The same thing that happened in ancient Rome is the same thing that's going to happen in America, because America is Rome. All right, the Roman Empire coming back. Inflation and debasement of currency, you see, led to a financial crisis, bro. Come on, man. Is that not what you see right now? Inflation and the debasement of currency, meaning the depreciating of currency, man, of money. The money's depreciating, man. Led to a financial crisis, man, which is purposely being done by the elite bankers to collapse this entire system, so they could bring forth the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. All right, agricultural decline. All right. The food is garbage here. All right, crops and all that, agricultural decline and reliance on slave labor stifled innovation. All right, and that's exactly what you see here in America, man. Overexpansion. All right, the empire was too large to manage effectively. All right, it says communication and transportation across distant provinces were slow and inefficient. All right. Yeah, traveling here in America is type crazy. All right, going through all types of NSA and TSA and security and all right. It says decline of civic virtue and loyalty. Yeah. All right, that's why these other nations that are allies with America, they're gonna shoot missiles over here too. All right, because they're done with America's nonsense. All right, that's also scriptural. All right, Revelation 17 chapter. All right, the 10 horns shall the 10 horns shall burn her with fire, the whore with fire, which is America. All right, talking about the nuclear destruction. All right, citizens grew less engaged in civic duties. Yeah, all people don't go out no more, bro. They just stay cooped up eating junk food. becoming obese. People don't do things, no. They just sit in front of their TVs and their tablets, their phones all day. All right, they don't walk. You know, citizens grew less engaged in civic duties. All right, corruption. All right, corruption and inefficiency were rampant in the bureaucracy, man. All right, like you see here in America, man. Corruption is all. Come on, bro. All right, Roman identity weakened, especially in the provinces. All right, it says external cause, barbarian invasion. Yeah, because America's gonna be invaded. America's gonna be invaded by nuclear missiles, man. It says pressure from migrating and invading tribes like Visigoths, Vandals, Ostrogoths, and later Huns. The sack of Rome in 410 AD by the Visigoths was a major blow. All right. In 476 AD, the Germanic chieftain Odoacer deposed the last Western Roman emperor Romulus Augustulus. All right. Come on, man. These are all the reasons why the Roman Empire fell. And this is all America, bro. All right. And I asked another AI. I have AI here too as well. It says the fall and collapse of ancient Rome was not caused by a single event, but a complex interplay of interconnected internal and external factors. Yeah, just like you see happening now. It says that accumulated over centuries, right? Just like we read here, it said the same thing. All right, it says a primary reason was the empire's inability to sustain itself after the cessation of military expansion. And America has all different types of bases all over the world in other countries, bro. All right, the scriptures say that. Let's get that. What's that? Revelation 17. All right, the whore that sitteth upon many waters. Yeah. All right, Revelation 17:1. All right, the whore that sitteth upon many waters is America. All right, it says Revelation 17:1, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right, the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters is nuclear destruction. That's the judgment that the Most High has ready for Babylon, aka America. All right, she sitteth upon many waters. The waters represents the peoples, all right, nations, all right, because America is known as what? The great melting pot, where many different nations come and they live together here, all right. But also sitteth upon many waters, that she got many. America has all these embassies and military bases amongst all these other nations. She sitteth upon many waters. All right, the waters represents the people. How do we know that? Because it breaks it down in the 15th verse. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. You see? Come on, man. All right. All right. So it says, which had previously provided a steady influx of slaves, spoils of war, and new tax-paying territories. This halt in conquest led to economic stagnation. All right, as the empire could no longer replenish its resources or population through conquest. All right, forcing it to extract more value from its existing possessions. All right, which eventually depleted its bases. All right, economic troubles were severe, just like here in America. All right, so the economic troubles were severe. All right, marked by persistent inflation. Come on, bro. You're going to keep seeing inflation keep going to where you get to hyperinflation. All right. Economic troubles were severe, marked by persistent inflation, currency debasement. You see? All right. The depreciation of the dollar. Currency debasement and a widening gap between the rich and poor. You see? All right. The economy's over reliance on slave labor, which is what you see here in America. Slave labor. All right, people got to work some people got to work 2-3 jobs just to get by. The economy's over reliance on slave labor. All right, you know, back in the day, 70s, 80s, even in the 90s, bro. All right, A man could work one job, just one job, and take care of his entire family. You know, he could pay the rent, the mortgage. All right, he could pay the groceries, which lasts for more than a week. You know, all right, still have money for your gas, for your car, and all that, and have money left over to do things, man. But now you can't do shit, bro. You gotta work 2-3 jobs just to have enough money to pay for rent and your and bills and all that, bro. All right. It says the economy's over reliance on slave labor discouraged innovation and productivity, while the loss of slave supplies, all right, after the second century further crippled agriculture and commercial output. The government's constant need to fund a large military, all right, which became increasingly reliant on foreign mercenaries, all right, who lacked loyalty to Rome, all right, drained resources and contributed to a cycle of higher taxes, inflation, and social unrest. All right, come on, man. Political instability was another critical factor. The lack of a stable system for imperial succession led to frequent civil wars, assassinations, and come on, bro. We just had an assassination. All right, Charlie Kirk. And then we had another assassination. All right, with that Ukrainian chick on the bus. All right, you have 4 presidents that have been assassinated, bro. All right, civil wars is popping off right now on a low level, but you starting to see it's going to get real crazy out here, because that's prophecy, man. All right, that one people shall stand up to fight another people with swords in their hands. All right, that's second Ezra, the 15th chapter. All right, you got Isaiah the 19th chapter when the Lord said he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right, which Egypt in that chapter is talking about America. All right, because America is also known as Egypt in the Bible. When you read Revelation, the 11th chapter, America is known as spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. All right, it says civil wars, assassinations, and power struggles, with over 20 emperors ruling in just 75 years during the 3rd century. All right, the Praetorian Guard, all right, meant to protect the emperor, often assassinated rulers or auctioned the throne to the highest bidder, severely undermining central authority. All right, this instability weakened the government's ability to govern effectively and defend the empire against external threats. External pressures, particularly the migration and invasion of Germanic tribes and the Huns, all right, significantly accelerated the decline. The Huns' invasion of Europe in the late 4th century, all right, forced many Germanic tribes, all right, such as Visigoths, to seek refuge within Roman borders, all right, where they were often mistreated, leading to revolts. All right, and you're gonna see that here in America, bro. You're gonna see all that here in America, man. All right. It says the division of the empire into eastern and western halves under Diocletian, all right, in the late 3rd century also contributed to its downfall. All right, while the Eastern Roman Empire centered on Constantinople prospered. Yeah, that's talking about the Byzantine Empire. All right, when Jake came into power. All right, it says prospered and endured for another 1,000 years. Come on, that's the 1,000 years that's spoken about in Revelation 20, man. All right, that Satan was bound for 1,000 years, talking about Esau, Edom. All right, during the time of the Byzantine Empire. All right, the Dark Ages. Come on, bro. That's the same 1,000 years that Revelation 20 is talking about. All right. It says, and I saw another angel come down from heaven. This is Revelation 21. And I saw another angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, which is Esau, that old serpent. All right, that same serpent that's in Genesis, was it the 3rd chapter? All right, all right, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Yeah, that's talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, being bound for 1,000 years during the time of the Dark Ages. All right, because Esau, Edom was nowhere near in power. The white man was nowhere near in power. He was in the Caucasus Mountains, being a damn caveman, eating juniper roots and berries. All right, while the so-called Negro men, the Israelites, when they were known as Moors, all right, they were ruling. You know? It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And that little season is now. All right. Starting with the Renaissance era. All right. It says the Western Empire suffered the economic decline, political fragmentation, and a lack of support from the East. All right. Leaving it vulnerable to invasion, and that's exactly what's going to happen to America. America is going to be invaded. All right. The weakening of the Roman legions due to recruitment difficulties and reliance on unreliable mercenaries further eroded the empire's military strength. Yeah, because everyone's going to turn against this place. All these nations are going to turn against this place to destroy it. Even America's allies. All right, Revelation 17, man. All right, the 10 horns, which is the EU, is gonna shoot missiles over here. Revelation 17. All right, and shall utterly burn her flesh with fire. Roughly paraphrasing. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. Revelation 17, and in 12 it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. All right, the EU. All right, which have received no kingdom as yet, but no, wait, hold on, my bad. Is that? Yeah, right here. All right, verse 16. It says, and the 10 horns, all right, which is America's allies, all right, the EU, the beast, part of the beast. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, America, all right, and shall make her desolate and naked, yeah, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Talking about the missiles. They're going to shoot missiles over here, all right, because everyone's tired of America. Everybody wants to see this place go, bro, all right, be destroyed, because America's that prideful country, man, all right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Ratazah, this lesson was edifying. All right, call Halalyam, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Until the next one, Shalom, Shalom.